I'm reliably informed that it is actually quite tame as fuck. And I will be doing a reading of my fanfiction, and I will be, to bravely fucking, there are fanfics out there that people have written about fucking my sister. Presumably whilst all is how it can be good. Okay? The problem with mods at the moment is they are fanfiction. They are like, oh, the cool screen caps. Ah, yes, lovely fanfiction. And now here is a blog about how rape is horrible. Yeah, you kind of playfully with the continuity, ha ha ha, fanficky nonsense. So you kind of take a break from the anger of stuff. I'm a shit writer. I'm a bad writer. I am a pulpy writer. I write fanfiction. Oh, I create my own original stories and stuff. So in this fanfiction, you kind of get a sense of the two sides of me. The fuck away from fanfiction right now. Staying the hell away from fanfiction right now. But I have, it's arguably an incredibly terrible and offensive piece of fanfic, albeit actually of fiction in this case. Companion, and it was Rose, right? So I had this idea that, like, what if you wrote a fanfiction that revisited Time War? After I'd seen that, I had written a fanfiction story that was like gonna be a script, but it was like a radio script. And I wrote fanfiction and I read fanfiction. I do still read and write fanfiction. And like up sequence, and then this 23,000 word piece of fanfiction on the Podquisition and Laura K. Buzz being queen of the free, and angst about the whole thing was just, so I'm basically, writing this entire fanfic to kind of subtly say, here, Laura, in my fucking fanfiction, right, there is a whole big, sort of, like, breakthrough. You just don't fucking get it. You're just goddamn fucking clueless. Anyway, I have a fanfic to write, so, yeah. Felt like, hell no, I want to stay the heck away from that fanfic, because it's disgusting as fuck, and I'm in. I'll include a link to, and it's currently at part 20 or something on my DeviantArt, and it's basically a fanfic about the Ninth Doctor at the end of the film. And they were both written as blatant kind of, fanficky kind of stuff, and admittedly there is like a whole thing is actually that part of the reason, that my terrible fanfic was hated and I was condemned a monster was because, and fans get it and then they try to fix it with fan works, with fan fiction, and they're like, this fixes the problems, and they have headcanon fic, and it just happens to be kind of bad fanfic that I like. Yeah, I suppose that's actually basically read my coming Laura K. Buzz becomes Queen of the World fanfic and kind of say, okay, that's the blueprint. I mean, you're gonna see in this fan fiction that I have wrote that it gets dark. It gets dark. Everybody who reaches a certain level of notoriety gets fan fiction. And obviously, I'm someone who writes fan fiction, and I've written some quite strange tons of them. So it doesn't feel like fan fiction to sort of say, and here's a character less guilty if I decide to write some fan fiction. Is the fact that now we get to and so I've always been someone who loves fan fiction so long as it's in line with would like to, here is our very twisted fanfic about, about what we'd like to do to you. That almost there's the hell of a world of difference between like writing a terrible fanfic about Elon Musk and I shall await the fan fictions with nervousness. With nervousness and little kids who are writing their first fan fictions to write good stuff. It's like expecting teenage minds and sort of go no it's too fanficky. He's too evil. He's so I want to share my fanfic theory again. Why the Doctor is half human, okay? I mean, fangirls are the force of the internet. Fangirls write the fanfiction, they create the gifs. They about you arrogant sod. What do you mean we're gonna care about your fanfiction? Why should we? I mean, we are the bullshit over the fan fiction that I wrote. I survived all of the trolls, leading the founding of the colony of Mars and writing a terrible fanfic about, Professor Challenger leading the, that's the world of fanfiction. Fanfiction is just stupid. I like this person and I want to make them happy, so perhaps dip in now too. Well, I am actually uploading my a fanfic of mine in serial form. So, if you're interested in fanfic, still quite bleak and dark and not very doctorish, but still, apparently, it's classed as fanfiction. And almost as soon as Controvoxi Survivor, that was supposed to be just purely, hey, I wrote this shitty fanfic, and it's gone really, really wrong to the point where you describe it poorly, and then it's buried in the middle of a very long, terrible fanfic that includes cannibal. It was literally once upon a time in a different universe. Me. Like, I literally wrote a fan fiction Doctor Who episode after watching that was bad. So I'm kind of like staying the fuck away from fan fiction right now. Staying. Oh god, I think there's some bad fan fiction in that. Or like just seas filled with people. Book series, which was based on a fanfic, which was based on another fanfic, and yada yada yada. So I think I don't fucking care. Write your fucking fanfictions, masturbate away. I am done with this. I think and part of me thinks I just don't need to, because it's just so fucking obvious. This is bad fanfic. It just happens to be kind of bad fanfic that I like. Everybody, once they reach a certain level of fame, is gonna get fan art and fanfiction written about them. And now we are going to get to the I pimp my very weird well, no, it's not fan fiction at all. It's my very weird fiction. Incest and pedophilia, and you're fucking cool with this? You're fucking writing fan fiction about this? You think this is a good idea? You're gonna fucking start sending down logicios to sort of take people, and you can basically read my fanfic to go, okay, so how do we end up? Actually, I have to make it original. I cannot just have it be a fanfic, which is that is definitely another problem, and there was a certain point during the writing of this fanfic where I was like, huh, this guy, this villain, makes more sense. Posts who have sent me Qurans and nappies, who have written fanfics about fucking my sister to get at me. What do they... And, you know, of course, the Farshnook originally was just another name for me in a bad fanfic. So kind of this... all that bullshit over the fanfiction, bloody fan communities imploding, politics, and within the internet of fanfiction writers. But here's the thing about fanfiction writers. A lot of their stuff is very private for very justified. And, you know, maybe there is deep within the internet of fanfiction writers. But here's the thing about fanfiction. White male writer, can you please relegate yourself to fanfiction? We do not need more white fucking male writers. We need more female writers. We need more black. Decided my hate base has created the first piece of fanfiction. No, the first piece of fan art. To try and dissect and analyze the fanfiction Laura Queen of the Earth. It's wrong on so many fucking levels, and so many fangirls fucking write fanfiction about it. If you're fucking okay with that, you'll be fucking the okay from Laura K. Buzz to write a fanfic about her becoming Queen of the World. So I could actually have a chance to explore, you know, try and infiltrate their group of friends. Everybody has had somebody write horrible fanfiction about them that is... I'm gonna say this now. If you have any twisted, fucked up fanfiction about me that you want to write, you can share it. Advances, and it's like, oh yeah, everything in your fanfic is completely fucking undone. Like when Babel Color spent ages, I did write this fanfic about the Farshnook when, you know, he regenerates into a woman, and, you know, I have had these fantasies. Then I can also go onto fanfiction sites and download it straight to my Kindle, and I to you know, it's anyway. My point is that that is fanfiction, and that I can't sell it. And like literally the moment after the fanfic went live, the thing that I essentially wrote of this and let's be honest, kind of obsess over and watch and write fanfiction about a guy whose name means the all of it like that. I would hope to be able to distribute it as sort of fanfiction in a sense, sort of online. So I write some fucking weird fanfic. So like I'm kind of waiting with a sort of nervous dread for the day and Doctor Who groups on DeviantArt, and, you know, I wrote fanfiction and I read fanfiction. I do still read published fanfiction at some point. Hell, we've just had a big movie of the Twilight fanfic. So there's an immortal ever young Clara out there. Part of me really wants to write some bad fanfic, and part of me thinks I just don't need to. Minding myself, and that's kind of why I do, you know, the fan fiction. That's why I do the fan vids and the music and the stuff like that. There was a small time publisher, an indie publisher, who publishes fan artists, fan fickers, and says, you know, and this could have amazing ramifications. You know, maybe we would see published fanfiction at some point. Hell, we've just had a big amateur fiction aficionados, you know, like the millennial era of fan fiction writers and of fan critics. And TV tropes is all about that. There's so many tropes. around the idea of fan fiction and headcanon and like word of God, and it's just like, you know this person from this fanfic and this fanfic, and so that was really interesting, getting the different perspectives. And like I've written quite a few sort of fanficky stuff, so there are references to, you know, different alien races from. Worry about people saying you can't publish it because it's fan fiction. I suppose the kind of the answer to this really is the fanfiction. You know, I have a multiverse. There are 100. I saw them before as great green obelisks made out of jade. No, it's because as a fanfiction writer, I can. No, and now I am about to continue writing the fanfic of Laura Capers of the Podquisition becomes Queen of the World. It was one of the videos that I did as a sort of like, hey, so I wrote a sort of fanfic based on a fetish comic, but then like 3 years in existential crisis because a piece of fucking fanfic I wrote online upset about 700 people. Unlockers just say, oh look, the gay husbands, murder husbands. And so much of the fucking fan fiction writers of all these white